Shalom, shalom, everyone. Today I want to share an article on Nimrod was a Nilo-Saharan ruler by Allison C. Lindsay, and she did this. I guess she posted this on Monday, June 20th of 2011. So again, my channel is about food for thought. I'll give you something to think about and research on, and dig into it yourself. So again, today is Nimrod was a Nilo-Saharan ruler. Now we know that Nimrod is the son of Kush. Kush is the son of Ham, which make them Hamitic. Kushites, Hamitic race. Now I was looking at this article, not actually article, it's a book that I download off I downloaded off Google. It's a archive.org. You can download a lot of books, old books. If you can't find them in the store, they're normally there on that website. And I was looking at it was a book that's called Truth or something. Can't think of it. But anyways, it was talking about these two historians back in like in the early 1800s. They did cranial work on a lot of different African tribes and over in Africa. And so they had a list, and they also did what they did was compare the cranials from the Europeans to Africans' cranial, the skulls. So they had a list of the tribes under the European, and they had Nilo-Saharans as Europeans. Oh my God. And they had another group there too, that Libya also, they were saying that was also European. But these two particular writers, historian, whatever you want to call them, are very, very racist. Chamberlain was one name. Buckingham, I think, or Buckingham and Chamberlain. But their research is so biased. You find every once in a while they may come up with some truth, but in the midst of that truth, they have a lot of just distorted information on Negro people, period. And I could never get over it. I just don't understand, what is Negro? I mean, that's not even an ethnicity, Negro. But anyways, they're always calling us bywords, Negroes, Black American, Afro-American. How can you be African American? You named after two continents. But I digress. Let's get to the article. Again, the article is Nimrod was a Nilo-Saharan. So it says that the term Kushite is a general term for people who lived in the region of Kush at a time when the Nile was much wider. This includes many people. Among the Kushites were the Anu, red and black Nubians, Horites, the Ar, or Aro, or Abijah. And this is a map, the kingdom of Kush, 70 BC. It shows the Kush Empire and then the Egyptian Empire during the New Kingdom, 1558 through 1085 BC, and a cataract. So you have the lower Egypt here, Memphis. You have the upper Egypt, Thebes, and then you have the first cataract, and then you have the Nubian second cataract, and then the third cataract, and you have the Napata, fourth cataract, and sixth. So we know that these was all Hamitic people, which is the descendant of Ham, which is the grandfather of all of them. And then Kush would be the son of Ham, and out of Kush came Nimrod. So anyways, let me get out of this. It says, the Kushites were the first to unite the upper and lower Nile. and their influence is seen on the earliest dynasties of Egypt. So I guess the earliest dynasties would be these dynasties here, where the upper and lower Egypt, and you have the Nubians down here, or the Kushite Empire. It says the point of origin of Kush is likely the Sudan and the region of Lake Chad, and must date to at least 2200 BC. Kush is listed as one of Noah's grandsons, and Noah lived about 2490 to 2415 BC. Before I go on here, I'm going to show you what says Chad. This is Chad here, Lake Chad here, Lake Congo. Sudan would be over this area right here. I had another map and I got rid of it. I should have kept it, but anyways. But this is the region they're talking about here. Okay. So let's go back to the article. It said Kush was the father of Nimrod, another great kingdom under builder of the ancient world. Wherever the Kushite rulers went, they took their royal priests and scribes. The Kushite religious life diffused through the agency of their ruler priests. They built their shrines and temples along the major water system and were instrumental in collecting taxes from commerce along the water they controlled. So I'm going to show you some of the priests, which are actually Kushite priests or new. So it says here, a high priest of Ptah or crown prince, third immediate period, which would probably be the either Kushite dynasty or the Egyptian. But these were priests. They were priests. Okay. Okay, then it goes on to say, before the Kushites were the Nilo Saharans, and among them was hunter-gatherer king called Nimrod. See, this is what they do. So they say that the Nilo Saharans was European. So that means that they're saying that Nimrod was also a European, which we know he wasn't. But again, I digress. Because that's not the subject. The subject there is on Nimrod, the ruler. So it says, Luo scholar Wanda Salmon has connected his name to the name of Luo Price, who is the ancestor of the Luos in Tanzania. This name was Ka Harandi, which means go and gather, fetch, collect, or hunt, and Luo. Randi and Rod are cognate, so in the Nilotic context, Nimrod's name fits his biblical description as a great gatherer or a hunter for the Lord. Now, it's beautiful how all of her work is based on anthropology, migration, linguistic, biblical, and molecular genetics. So that's what she based all of her findings when looking for the true characters of the Bible. And I think that's just awesome, I think. So I wanted to go back and show Nilo-Saharan, Nilotic. So here is a group or a tribe called the Newer people. And they are Nilotic people of Africa, which will make them Hamitic. But check this out. I have a book that's called The Newer Religion, and is by an author by the name of Evan Pritchett, The Newer Religion. And it says, I'm just going to read a couple of read a paragraph probably. It says, I am, of course, meaning the author, Evans Pritchett. I am, of course, well aware that newer religion is very unlike what we know in general about Negro religions. And that word Negro is like they use that so loosely, and it means nothing because Negro is not an ethnicity. It's not a country. It's not a region. It's not a tribe. So they gave us that name and then try to separate us from the rest of the people from that region. Again, I'm going to digress because that's a totally different subject. It says one cannot even say that it is a typical Nilotic religion, talking about the newer. It is certainly very unlike the religion of the Anu, of the Luo of Kenya. And I think I have that. Let me see if I have that. Yeah, here's right here. So this is the Luo culture tradition. So these are the Luos right here. The Luo tribe, that's what he's talking about right here. He says the Luo of Kenya, of the Akali, of the Alur, or of the Shilluk. Indeed, only the religion of the Dinka can be said to have strongly marked affinities with it. So he's saying that the Nuer and the Dinka has a similar religion. It says can be said to have strongly marked affinities with it, and it can be further said that in some respect, the religions of these two people, meaning the Nuer and the Dinka, resemble less other Negro religions than some of the historic religions. Well, number one, with Negroes, you all brought us over here, our ancestors, so we lost all our history. And you gave us your history. And then turn around and give us your name, Negro. I digress. Anyways, it says they have features talking about the Nuer and the Dinka tribe. The Nuer, they have features which bring to mind the Hebrews of the Old Testament. Professor C.G. Sigmund clearly sensed this, as his account of the Dinka and the Nuer shows image features of the ancient Hebrews of the Old Testament. And Miss Ray Huffman, an American Presbyterian missionary who spent many years among the Nuer, remarks that the missionary feels as if he were living in Old Testament times, and in a way, this is true. So anyway, I thought I would read that. In fact, you can buy this book from AB eBooks. It's called The Newer Religion. It's a really good book about their culture and stuff. I mean, really good book. He wrote two, one, The Newer People, and then he also wrote The Newer Religion. So I purchased the one, The Newer Religion. I'm going to go back and purchase The Newer People. So there's two different books that he wrote on there. He was among them for years, and a couple of other individuals that were studying their religion and their culture and stuff like they always do. They're always studying us. We dummies, but they're always studying us. Okay, let's go back to the article. Let me go back to this one right here to show these people right here. These are the Luno tribe that he mentioned in the book that are also Nilo Saharans. Well, actually says that the Luo tribe people of culture, the Luo tribe. So let's go back to the article. It says, before the Kushite was Nilo Saharan, and among them was the hunter-gathering king called Nimrod. Luo scholar Wanda Salmon has connected his name to the name of Luo Price, who is the ancestor of the Luos in Tanzania. His name was Ka Rwandi, which means go and gather, fetch, collect, or hunt in Luo. Randi and Rod are cognates, so in the Nilotic text, Nimrod name fits his biblical description as a great gatherer or hunter for the Lord. Oops, excuse me. It says, anthropologically speaking, we might describe Nimrod as a great hunter gathering chief who left his home and established a territory in the Tigris-Euphrates Valley. He is in Meru in Saharan, the chief hunter or the lord slash master slash leader, in or hunter. It says in Akkadian, and also Akkadians also are Hamitic or Hamitic. And they were also dark skinned African people. The Akkadian, I'm going to show you that because Nimrod built the city Akkad, which comes from Akkadian. It says, compare this to the Hebrew word that appears in the Targum, Na Shakan equal hunter, and note the similarity to Hasa word Sarkan or Harbat equals lead hunter. Still talking about Nimrod. He said he would have been served by warriors and priests. Let me show you some more priests here. I'm going to show you another priest. I'll show this priest here, which is also a Kushite priest. You know, Abraham was also a Kushite, that his family migrated from Kush up through Japan and Mesopotamia and India. So it's just showing another priest. It says he would have been served by warriors and priests. Some of these priests was Habaru or Hebrew. The designation is a reference to the sun. The Arabic Yakaru means he is getting big, and with intensive active prefix, Yakabaru means he is enlarging. This refers to the morning ritual of the Harite priests who greeted the rising sun with prayer and watched as it expanded across. Okay, let me go back. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I keep forgetting to share. He would have been served by warriors and priests. Some of these priests were Habaru, Hebrew. The designation is reference to the sun. The Arabic Yakaru means he is getting big, and with the intensive active prefix, Yakabiru means he is enlarging. This refers to the morning ritual of Harite priests who greeted the rising sun with prayer and watching as it expanded across the horizon. Okay, so it says the oldest known center of Harite worship is Nakin in Sudan. Vaulted offering at the Nakin temple were 10 times larger than the normal mace leaves and boughs found elsewhere, suggesting that this was very prestigious shrine. Harite priests placed invocation to Horus at the summit of the fortress as the sun rose. This is an origin of the morning ritual whereby the sun is blessed daily in every devout Hindu home. In the Jewish sun blessed rituals, it says Barakah Hashkama, which is performed every 28 years. Remember I said that Abraham family also migrated from Kush up through Mesopotamia, up through India, Euphrates in that area, because it just mentioned right here the Hindu home about the blessing. This is an origin of morning ritual whereby the sun is blessed daily in every devout Hindu home, where they migrated up through that area as well. That was Nimrod and Abraham family. And so the Egyptian called the temple priestly attend. PRW, it says the W being the plural suffix. This has been rendered waper or wapper by the Afro-Asiatic language expert Christopher Hurt. The waper has significant political authority alongside the ruler. They presided over the rituals directed towards the high god Ra and act as intercessor between Ra and the community. Now I'm going to jump down here because it's not going to be a long. I just wanted to share this while I was reading it. And I think I want to go. I don't want to read all of that. It's just too much to read. I'm dropped down to here to show the relationship between Nimrod and Abraham. It says, let's see if I want to go somewhere up here. Yeah, that's where I want to go. You can go and look at the article. You set the full article. It says, let me see if I want to do this. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and read this. It says, Nimrod, one of Abraham's ancestors, was a great kingdom builder. They were related. They were both priests, castes. He was, or from that lineage, he was ethnically Kushite. Nimrod, one of Abraham's ancestors, was a great kingdom builder. He was ethnically Kushite, but was probably sent away from his older brother Ramah, whose territory was in the northern Arabian. It says, this explains why he regarded his mother as lowly. She would have been a woman of less wealth and stature than the wife of Ramah, Kush, the firstborn son. After numerous conquests, Nimrod's territory was far greater than his brother. It extended the length of the Tigris-Euphrates Valley, and within the territory where there were three principal cities, Babel, Erech, Accad, and plain of Shinar. The script used to communicate across Nimrod Empire is called Akkadian. So I want to show you. What is that at? Not the Euphrates. It was. Let me go ahead and look at one of these. Oops. Okay. Pen. Stop it now. There you go. Let me see. Let me look at link chat. I'm gonna look at this right here. It talks about the great. Let me see something. Let me just do something right quick. Because it talks about him that Nimrod's birthplace was in the Nile Valley. So right here we see the Nile River. So it says that Nimrod was born in the Nile Valley. So he was born in this area somewhere. I'm assuming maybe this is the Nile Valley down here. Let's see. Let me see. Nope. Go back. Here. So it's probably here. It's over here somewhere. You have the great deserts, the White Desert. You have Israel, Jordan, and you have Egypt over here. Now we know that Joseph and Mary walked from Israel all the way to Egypt to go hide Yeshua HaMashiach. So, but now today they have built this Suez Canal where it separates Israel and Jordan and Egypt from the rest of Africa, and it's part of Africa, and they call it the Middle East. And everyone has run with that new term, just relatively new. It's not an old ancient term, so we know it was man-made for whatever purpose that will serve them. But anyway, I digress. But this is Israel, this is Jordan, and Yeshua HaMashiach and Mary walked over here with Yeshua. Joseph and Mary walked from Israel all the way to Egypt to hide the Savior from that mad king, Mad Herod. Okay, let's go back to the article. So It says the conquest. I want to click on here and see what this will take me. Let me see what this will take me. To 28,000 words Akkadian dictionary finish. I don't want to go there. Let's talk about the language. But we know that the Akkadians were, they were Kushites as well. So it says the conquest of the Sumerian city-states by Kushite ruler is well documented. Sargon the Great lived from about 2290 to 2215 BC, which is when his son Ramas, by his sister wife, conceded the throne. Alternative dates for Sargon the Great are 2360 to 2279, but these dates likely refer to his maternal grandfather, after whom he was named. It was Sargon the Elder, not Sargon the Great, who conquered Nippur in 2304 BC and established this capital, Accad. And then she goes on to say, I do not believe that Sargon and Accad and Nimrod are the same person. Nimrod lived well before the time of Sargon. He sure did. The Great, he was the son of Kush. Noah's great-grandson, Sargon, is found in Genesis 10, lived closer to the time of Abraham. So go read that. And so the title Sargon is comprised of two words meaning king. The name is really a title that probably should be translated King of Kings. Nimrod's Akkadian name was Saru-Kanu, which is usually translated True King. Akkad was one of the settlements established by Nimrod, Genesis 10. Nimrod was a Kushite. Sargon ethnicity is Babylonian. Similarities between the two kingdom builders are due to the fact that rulers of the ancient Near East, which is Northeast Africa, see how they run with this relatively new term. It's not an ancient term. Then they turn around and put ancient in front of Near East when they know they created this name. It should be Northeast Africa. So I'm going to say, for the sake of it, is Northeast Africa had much in common, which they did. For example, they were viewed as having authorities from the high god who governed the people to collect tribute, to enforce sacred laws, codes, and to expand their territory. It says the Igbo researchers, Dr. Catherine Akolohunu, reports that the Nigerian Lord Nimrod is known as Sarukin, which is interpreted to mean the righteous king. The Akkadian title Saru-Kanu was also used by Sargon of Accad. It says the 7th century Assyrian text says that Sargon's birthplace was a city on the bank of Euphrates called the Paranu. It was a Horite shrine as evidenced by the word Paranu. The Habaru or devotees of Horus called a temple or Peru, meaning house of the sun. Azu is the East African name for God. Asa, so Azu Parunu means house of God and is equivalent to the Hebrew word Bethel. And then it goes on to say that Nimrod birthplace was in the Nile Valley. So that was just a little article she did on Nimrod, which I thought was pretty interesting. So I wanted to go and look at, we know the Euphrates rivers in Mesopotamia. Let me just see if I can get that map right quick. I hope I don't mess up here. Mesopotamia. There it is, Mesopotamia map. I always had to put an MES. So let's see one of these lovely maps. Here's one right here, maybe. Let me see. No, that's not one. That's not a good one right there. Here's this one right here. This is a real good one right here. Okay, this is a Mesopotamia, Euphrates River, Mesopotamia, Fertile Crescent. So Euphrates here, Mesopotamia, and you go up this part would be India and so forth and so on. So it says here that that a 7th century Syrian text says that Sargon's birthplace was a city on the bank of the Euphrates called Azu-Par-Maru. So we're talking about Euphrates here. So somewhere around here he was born. So they was born in they was located in two different birthplace areas. One was the Nile Valley, which was Nimrod birthplace, and then also Sargon was in the Euphrates, which is still a melanated people in that area. They're always melanated. Mesopotamia today is Iran, and we know the ancient people back then was people of color. So let me go back to this. I wanted to try something. Let me check. Let me just slice on this right quick and see what comes up. Okay. Let me just read this real quick. It says, Afro-Asiatic metalworkers. It says, here are photos of a related people whose ancestry is Kushites or Proto-Saharan. Both photos are a BJA people, Bija people. Some Bija are nomadic. Linguist Penelope are their notes. Okay, it says demotic source they call Grim, Wild, and Classical source they are Blemonis, answers of the modern Bija. The Bija people. It says in ancient Egypt, the Bija were called Majayu. These metalworking nomads from the eastern Nubian desert were recognized for their military skills. They served as mercenaries in the Egyptian army and policed the desert in the Old Kingdom at the end of Egypt's second intermediate period in 1640 to 1550 BC. They played a role in the expelling of the Hyksos. I'm going to show you who the Hyksos is. Watch this. There's some crazy stuff. So, Hicks, H-Y is H-Y-K. And so it's, yeah, oops. Now, this is going to blow your mind. This is going to blow minds. Now, check this out. That one, we'll go back and get a better one. Look who they said the Hyksos was. I'm going to get an even better one than this. Hold on. So hold on. Let's see. Has to be a better one than this. Hyksos. Right here. Okay, let's do this. You see this right here? Early contact between Egypt and the Levant, possession of the Amu. It says the group of West Asiatic foreigners, which is these are Hebrew Israelites. These are, and they see how they try to lighten up the colors and stuff, but I digress. I have some, but the actual book shows the actual photo, the original photo. It says the Canaanites Amu, including the leading man with a Nubian ibex. Nubian ibex, meaning the Nubian ibex is a desert-dwelling goat species found in mountainous areas of northern and northeast Africa. See? And the Middle East. Stop it. It was historically considered to be a subspecies of the alpine ibex, but is now considered a distant species of wild population. How about the animal? It says labeled as the Abysar, the Hyksos. The Hyksos. So these are the Hyksos. These Hebrew was considered Hyksos. So when it says over here, It talks about the Hyksos. It says they served as mercenaries, talking about the Benja people, and the Egyptian army and policed the desert in the late Old Kingdom at the end of Egypt's second immediate period. They played a role in expelling the Hyksos from the Nile Delta. The Manjanu buried their dead in a distinctive way in circular pan graves, which they marked with the decorated skulls of bull, gazelles, and goats. They have been found in cemeteries of Upper Egypt and Lower Nubia, beginning in the second intermediate period of source. This is the source Sudan 2000 to 1000 BC, Hellebrand timeline of the art's history. Goes on to talk about the Metropolitan Museum of Art. They brought gold to Egypt from mines deep in the heartland of Nubia and Kush. That's in Lake Chad, Sudan. The Bija, or Arabic, are Kushite people who lived in part of Sudan, Egypt, and the Horn of Africa. Their name comes from the ancient Egyptian word for metallic iron, Bija, or metal from heaven, and they were metalworkers. Bija correspond to the Sanskrit word Bija, meaning semen or seed. Metallic iron was used in the fabrication of iron beads in Nubia about 6,000 years ago. These beads may have been perceived as seed from heaven, which brought divine power to the wearer. The metallic iron was used in the fabrication of crooks and flates, and the symbol of Egyptians and Kushite pharaohs. These symbols were believed to give the rulers power over heaven. So anyways, as I was studying, I thought I would just go ahead and share with you, family and all. So you can go find the article, the other article on Nimrod was a Nilo Saharan. It's called Just Genesis. So just type in Just Genesis and it'll bring up her full post on all her articles that she wrote on biblical characters in the Bible and based on migration, anthropology, linguistic, migration, molecular, DNA, and by this a Bible. So 5 sources that she used to do her research, which makes a lot of sense. And not only that, it verifies the Bible when you start looking at all the sources that she used. But I just want to go back to this last. I didn't know that the Hebrews were Hyksos. I didn't know that. I really, really didn't know that, y'all.